Great
So
games.
I want to ask you a question, Mike. There's 5 games. Would you be upset if multiple games got same grades, or is that unfair? Because is that the easy way out? Because I mean, Knicks game for me is A.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would
Especially
agree.
with the fourth quarter comeback.
at the
Brunson
end.
was
Yeah.
magnificent on fire. You had
Donovan
the
Mitchell put on the
18-0
show
run.
too.
Yeah,
though.
Donovan Mitchell put on the
That
show.
dunk in the at the
as
end,
yeah.
Yeah.
it just was so out of nowhere.
It's like a
that
video game.
Yeah.
He had a takeover, blew past everybody, and just rose and dunked.
And
But
he-
I would do the same thing if I had Coco Jones sitting courtside
Hey, and
as
he-
my fiance, like he did on Christmas.
Yes.
He put on a show, and he was back home. He was back home.
I thought
Funny
Darius
for getting called
Garland
on
had.
a hot mic to my only dunk when she here.
Yeah, yeah.
That was crazy.
Now he didn't get caught. He knew he was mic'd up.
Yeah.
He knew he was mic'd up.
Darius Garland had a better game. Like he's starting
Yeah.
to get into his rhythm now, which is good for Cavs fans to see.
Evan Mobley played, and I was not
I
expecting,
was not
him
expecting
to
that
play
either.
for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was kind of scared about it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, when I saw him on the court, I was like, wait, Evan Mobley's playing?
Yeah, they gave an update that made me almost want to throw my phone. Cause I'm like, oh, brother.
They interviewed him like at the end of the first quarter. Like they said 2 to 4 weeks, and you hear after a week. I'm like, I don't know, man. That calf strain, we keep talking about him every single month, and he coming back after a week. It's a little scary. And it was all for naught because they ended up losing.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
probably going to do like the Wimmy thing, just come off the bench for a stretch and just be on a minutes restriction.
All in all, though, I think that game was like an A plus. Started off, I mean, that
rough,
first
oh my God.
11 game to start off that way, Madison Square Garden, the vibes was very high. I think that's a great way to start Christmas Day for me personally. So I would give that one an A
I would
plus.
say, I'll give it an A plus. Did you give it a rate?
I would say A. It had his flows where like at the beginning of the game, I'm like, man, they
It
gonna
was
score.
kind of boring at the
Yeah, they
beginning.
gonna score, and then you did get the big lead, but the comeback makes it worth the A. Shout out to Mitchell Robinson again.
Bro.
The man just changes games, just come in and just mucks it up. I think that's Derek Ware, right? Mucks it up, get the boards.
Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson
Jordan
was
Clarkson
great.
had 25
Tyler
off the
Kolek.
bench.
That bench is
Hey, man.
incredible. We look like a championship team.
Tyler Kolek did not score double-digit points in an NBA game until the NBA Cup final, and now I just feel like that's just a normal thing now.
Shout out to
Hit 4
injuries.
threes, boom, boom, boom. And,
Positive injuries. This is what happens when you have a great
If
team.
this game is an A or A plus for some, the Nuggets Timberwolves game has to be a S. Like that was the best game of the night.
It was,
and it had
definitely.
the potential because it was the Nuggets were up with like only a few minutes left, and it was a game that some people could walk away from. But the
That's
Timberwolves,
why it can't be. That's why I can't say can't for anybody else, but for me it can't be an S because it didn't get me until that very end. The first, I mean, the half was cool. The first half was
it was a
solid.
solid game
close
overall.
It's like
until-
3-point game at
But
half
it was
or whatever.
nothing that was like, this is the game of the night.
Yeah.
I didn't get that game of the night feeling until the very, very end. So, I mean, and then even in overtime, it's like the Timberwolves got that 9-point lead,
Hey, bro.
and then it was like, I don't know what happened.
Overtime was so ridiculous. Like sometimes I fall asleep watching games intentionally, like, oh, I'll wake up in the morning. This game was so good that I didn't want to fall asleep. And then the fouling while up thing just ended up having the game be like 30 minutes
It
longer
did.
than
Yep.
it needed to be. A 5-minute overtime cannot be 40 minutes of real life.
Yeah.
But because we did have the best statistical output on Christmas Day ever, I feel like I feel that way because like, I don't know, obviously MVP is still up in the air because we got so much basketball left, but for it to be no Christian Brown, no Aaron Gordon, no Cam Johnson, and it's like here's 50 of them things with a 15 and 16.
Earlier
whatever.
that day, they said that Luka had the best Christmas Day game with that 50-point game he had, and Jokic swiped that.
Yeah. It's,
Video game numbers, man. They look like 2K when you sim to play stats or whatever. You just video game
Just-
stuff.
just
The
stuff-
shot from Ant was crazy too.
Yeah, just effortlessly.
yeah, I mean, and you got 9 threes from Jamal Murray. So, like, I think, like, from a visual standpoint, this game definitely delivered for me.
All-star this year.
Easily.
Yeah, I think he is. He's definitely easily one. Because, like, usually you don't say easily with Jamal Murray. You usually be like, oh, he might be an injury replacement. But no, I think he, for the first time in his career, even though he's been fringe, I think he's made a statement that he's a lock.
And I think it's so, and I think they mentioned in this broadcast, obviously it was like a nationally televised game, it's Christmas, and they're going to mention it, but they haven't mentioned it enough, I feel like, in the NBA world, that this team is down 2 starters still. And
Three.
Three. Yeah, with
Aaron
Cam
Gordon,
Johnson
Cam
sitting
Johnson.
out. And they're still taking care of business.
Brown.
Shout out to Peyton Watson, though. He
Yeah.
definitely gives him great minutes. His energy, he's not somebody I would want as an offensive player to see on the other side sometimes. He just plays so damn hard, and he's just so athletic.
Yeah, he got the physique for it too.
Yeah, and it's just like you might think you didn't beat him off the dribble. No, he's chasing you down.
Best shot blocking non-big in the game right now.
P, you mentioned Luka had like the best game statistically for Christmas. The Lakers game was the worst game, I feel like, of the night.
Oh, yeah, that thing was over very fast.
Yeah, and just from an energy standpoint, because I thought the Rockets did a lot of things well. I mean, they turned the Lakers over like they supposed to. They crashed them on the offensive glass like they supposed to. The Lakers have to play better, like just simply harder at that point. I thought,
they out rebound. They made y'all look like a little kid team.
They're like
rebound.
a 56% offensive rebound rate.
Yeah,
they had 17 offensive rebounds to y'all 18 defensive. They almost out rebounded y'all on the offensive glass than y'all did defensive.
And again, that's what.
Yeah, I think y'all had like 29 rebounds.
They had 25.
25?
Yes, 25 rebounds total.
This is what Houston does, but at the same no. I'm going. Houston is one of the best offensive rebound teams, but again, you have to KYP and understand that you have to do your work ahead of time. I thought the energy level.
It's a lot of teams that has got more than 25 rebounds.
It was a lot on the Lakers.
Their offensive rebound.
It was a lot on the Lakers,
and they're gonna win that battle. But that don't stop you from getting your. 25 is ridiculous.
It was 25 to like 54 or something like
Houston
that.
needed this game too because they had a couple like fourth quarter explosions over the last couple games.
Yeah, KD passive, don't want the ball.
Hey, that's how they get out of that. You just don't get into no crunch time situations because if it's crunch, it's Spindle the suspect.
Yeah, and that game profiled to be really good on paper. It's Bron, Luka, KD, Şengün.
But then Reeves only played 13 minutes.
Yeah, Reeves goes down with injury, and JJ Redick has some very interesting comments afterwards, which might shake some things up. The vibes are real high like 2 weeks ago.
They really were. They really were.
Continuing to talk about last night's Christmas Day games, JJ Redick in his post-game interview said, too often guys want to make the choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are. Saturday's practice is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not doing another 53 games like this. He also went on to talk about how consistency has been one of the things that they've been lacking over the recent time. And, it's only so much a coach can really do when you think about who the top end talent is on this team, and defensively, they just never will have it. And if we have a game where the offensive side, they're going to turn the ball over, they won't be super on point, then it's a tough balance to try to turn this team into something that they're not.
Yeah, we've been talking about it this whole time where basically 4 out of the 5 spots on the floor are just already taken up. Right, you got your one from your big, and then you have your top end talent, and those guys, even on their best nights, are just not going to produce defensively, for you. It really comes down to a lot of the staggering and the rotations, and then too, it's just got to be an effort thing, man. Nobody's asking you to lock down your defender, but you have to be able to try to keep a body in front and try to defend without fouling. A part of the reason we can't defend anything is because every time we go up and miss and we don't get a call, we're complaining to the refs. It's just little things like that where we're getting beat. And I thought against the Rockets, we just let them be athletes the whole night. I thought there was some times where we were settled in on defense and we made them make plays, and that's where we looked good on defense. But if you're just going to let them get in transition and run up, you're going to lose the game. Yeah. You're just going to lose the game. I'm happy that JJ Redick is on them like this. It needs to be said. This team has too much talent to kind of just be too inconsistent on just the whole game, really.
Yeah, I think JJ Redick said there was 2 big words coming to this game that he wanted to see, and that was effort and execution. Mm-hmm. And you see it from the rebounding totals that effort was not there. Rebound is one of those effort stats. Like, you got to work your ass off to get those boards. And when you get almost double the amount of rebounds, when you give up almost double the amount of rebounds to the other team,
you can't win the game.
That's effort. That's literally just all heart and effort. And execution-wise, our defensive rotations were late. It's like guys just walking to the paint. It's just y'all definitely
and that's why
struggle against the athletic
you
teams.
see times when the Lakers start doing better when you have the guys come off the bench, whether it's a Vando, whether it's Vando had an amazing game, I thought.
They honestly was just laying.
I was about to say, I kind of hated the Vando minutes.
I hate the fact that they just leave him wide open.
Well, that's going to happen every time.
Yeah, and then when they did try to put him in a dunker spot, they just allowed, I think it was Jabari to, guard 2 because it's a man in the corner right here who I kind of respect, and then Jared Vanderbilt right here, and they're running a pick and roll, and there's no room for the roll man because you got Jabari Smith Jr. just sitting there basically being able to guard 3, including the roll man.
Yeah, offensively, it's a lot to be desired. But JJ Redick could barely take him off the floor because he was providing so much energy that, he was getting offensive. He was part of the reason we can even get a rebound. So it's a balance of who you're leaving out on the floor and who's really rolling. Because again, it's hard to have that defensive execution with those 3 guys on the floor.
Flipping it so we don't just talk about the losing team.
For sure.
The Rockets, when they are executing at this rate, it's like this is. I mean, I think we all look at them as a contending team, but when they doing stuff like this, where they can beat you over the head without Alperen Sengun having his best game, it's like, oh, this team can be scary. And Amen Thompson to be able to do this against like. I don't know how many teams can match his level of athleticism from that position, and the Lakers obviously cannot. I just feel like in a 7-game series, he could have his best series ever because it's just like full force, especially if they can make y'all turn the ball over, full force, full court, get into the basket, and things like that. So shout out to the Houston Rockets, man.
I like the Rockets. My biggest concern for a lot of these teams out west is, again, it's so matchup based. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for the Rockets is because, a favorable team, a matchup like the Lakers is a favorable team for them because the Lakers don't have effort, because the Lakers don't have defense, because the Lakers don't have pedigree that JJ Redick is looking for. But when you talk about those other teams like OKC, like the Spurs, like the Nuggets, those are the teams that I'm still weary about for the Rockets because they will come up with a game plan to try to neutralize Amen Thompson. They will take advantage of the fact that the Rockets aren't a superior three-point shooting team, and they can try to put out lineups to negate some of the rebounding. It's only so much you can do. Those guys are going to rebound. But, I mean, again, I just haven't seen a legitimate playoff team allow the Rockets to do that to them on the glass. And I just think that goes back to the Lakers just, not having a certain level of toughness, pedigree, and execution that JJ Redick was talking about.
I'm grading this game a D.
Yeah, I'll give it a D too.
You got to. Can't be an F because you're locking in for Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and all of the star power. But I definitely agree. This fell flat. Fell flat, man. The Lakers are tough, man, because they'll show, and I think we fall for the bait every time they show us a glimpse of something. But I think the next time they have a little 6-game sample size, I got to keep in mind that they are very likely to fall off.
Yeah, we know their weaknesses. They shown that they could have a really high level.
Hey,
of play.
Rui Hachimura got to score, man. He's the X factor. You cannot have the game he had last night. As a Laker fan, when JJ Redick said we know who those guys are, who do you think he's talking about? Because I was trying to I'm like, is he talking about Aiden? Is he talking about Rui as offset? I don't like,
I think he's talking about the starting 5.
I think overall Aiden has been more than what they expected.
Exactly. So
I'm like not looking
is it
at
Aiden?
him.
I'm thinking it's probably LeBron, Luka.
It could be.
He did have individual meetings with them, or the meetings collectively about the 2 stars defense. Who knows?
I think any way it goes, I hope it's responded to well.
Last game before we get to the big game is Warriors winning 126-116 against the Dallas
This game could have been
Mavericks.
taken off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This just didn't have the appeal that they thought it. I understand Cooper Flag, but like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better matchup and a more entertaining game if you
I
wanted
get
to
why
put
they
Steph
put this
Curry
on here,
the
though.
team. Yeah, Steph Curry.
It only didn't have the
pick.
pop because we didn't get the Steph Curry game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who else would you put here? Because the Clippers ain't turned out to be what they were supposed to be.
Giannis is hurt.
Anthony Davis also low.
I think it makes sense for it to be Wemby, but Wemby and them are on a whole different stratosphere.
Yeah.
That them going against OKC makes more
And
sense.
also, when they made the schedule, they didn't project the Pistons to be good. Like the Pistons, actually, I would have much rather seen a Pistons matchup with someone.
But you got to have Cooper Flag debut is what I'm saying.
For sure.
So who is he playing against?
I think that they kind of did the 2-token thing. It was like, well, we do got the Splash Brothers going against each other, so we can also get Cooper Flag's game. I think that's what they thought.
You expect Steph to go off in this game. It just didn't happen. He's
only had one like good Christmas Day game, and that was 2 years ago.
It's still Steph Curry.
Yeah, no, I know the appeal. But I think they mentioned on the broadcast average like 17 points per game on 23% shooting on Christmas. It's like, God.
That don't sound like nothing like Steph Curry.
That boy, he must wrap his own gifts.
He want to be at home with his family, man. He said, all I want to do is go home and watch my kids have fun.
This game was fine. That's the only way I can really describe it. It was fine. It was cool to see Cooper Flag continue his level of excellence as a rookie, but that was kind of all of it.
Yeah,
I
agree.
For the Warriors, though, I'm glad, again, that their bench is continuing to produce. I feel like that's been something that they've desperately been needing.
I think Al
outside of
Horford
Steph.
had that little streak where he was killing early in the game. Steph Curry wasn't able to shoot it well. But like a lot of people came in between Pods, Moody, Trace Jackson-Davis gave them some good minutes, Quentin Post. List goes on. You know, it was a very good win for the Golden State Warriors. What would y'all grade it, though?
C like a C.
C minus, yeah.
I think it's like a D+.
This was the game where I'm like, it's on. You know,
Yeah,
let's
say,
go
I
play with these new toys, little kids. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those.